Hello, so in answer to your question, what were some common elements of oppression in the second part of Lakota women? Here's my answer. I agree with you in your video on the four elements of oppression the Lakota Indians had to face, especially with the government and police. That just, to me, the government's oppression of the Native Americans was the most obvious and the most horrible, especially just because they had honestly absolute power over them. I know this was in the first part, but how she talked about, I don't know the exact what they were called, but the people who were in charge of giving out the rations around the reservations and even just maintaining the reservations, those people in the government, they did not do their job. They screwed over the Indians and just took all the money that they were supposed to use for them. And so then the reservation was just a horrible, horrible place to live. They didn't have running water, toilets, lights. They didn't even have electricity. And I mean, this was the 60s, 70s, so that was just horrible and just definitely oppressive from the government. And then also something that really stood out in the second half was how after everything happened with AIM, they said that they would let everyone go and that they wouldn't get in trouble, and yet right off the bat they arrest Crow Dog and send him to, I think he was supposed to have at least a lifetime of a prison sentence, which just goes to show that even after all the negotiations, the government did not keep any of their promises, and that's just really frustrating. And just how they would purposely move Crow Dog from prison to prison to prison all over the country to keep his wife away, because I think they knew that she had gained power and she was able to get people on their side, and they just wanted to make it as difficult as possible. And I know that there was even a law about how you can't cut Native Americans' hair, and even in the prisons, they all tried bending the rules to try and cut Crow Dog's hair. And that's something very important to him in his culture, especially because he was a medicine man. And it was crazy that the day before he was scheduled to for sure get a haircut, they were just gonna do it anyways. And even though there's a law written about it, thankfully he got out of prison. But it just goes to show the government just really, really, really had it out for them. And I mean, Crow Dog was just super peaceful, did not ever pick up a gun, and yet they were just treating him so horribly to where they would, take something so sacred to him and take it away from him. I mean, there was just so much oppression to these people, and it's just awful that this was happening only 30, 40 years ago, and it's still happening today. So that was a great question, and that's all I had to say.